My name is Julia Andarza. I am 29 years old and I'm a physician assistant. I work at Stanford. I wanted to be a doctor when I was in kindergarten, and then I switched that to physician assistant in high school. I also knew I wanted to be a wife and a mom, but was more not in a rush to do that. I wanted to focus on my career. When I found out I was pregnant, I just immediately thought, no, I cannot do this. This is not the time. This is not how I intended my life to be. I was not working. I was taking a break. I had worked a year and a half in the pandemic in the ICU. I was uninsured, unemployed. I was scared to tell anyone, fear of being judged or being called irresponsible, or even the fear of being ungrateful. I kept it completely to myself during that time. I was initially considering abortion, and I did want to figure out first, like, if the pregnancy was even viable. I was looking for basically free health care, and that's how I came across RealOptions.
I remember the day that Julia came through the door. She was weeping. I could see that she was overwhelmed, and in her own words, she felt very alone. She was in between insurances as well, so many things going on in her life when she came to RealOptions.
Rosie was one of the first people in my life to know that I was pregnant. She wasn't trying to ask what my decision was going to be. She was putting no pressure on me to add stress. She was just there to be there, like, and more or less hold my hand through the process. They did the pregnancy test, it was positive, and then came to get me to do the ultrasound. They scheduled me so quickly, and I think that was something so important to me. It was in the midst of my panic, I was able to go to somebody who's a professional or an expert, and they were gonna be able to walk me through, like, what's going on. The ultrasound made everything real. I was 4 to 6 weeks pregnant. They actually didn't see everything they wanted to see on the first ultrasound because I was so early on. So they were able to schedule me, 2 weeks later to see the growth. And I had just very mixed emotions. After I saw the ultrasound, I told my partner that I was pregnant. And then the conversation started to happen about what our options were. It was a roller coaster. I would tell him a different answer every day, and he was obviously supporting me in whatever decision I wanted to make. I was very, very, very conflicted. I went back to RealOptions for a second ultrasound, and I had the same tech, and she put the probe on me and immediately saw the baby had a heartbeat. I think she said something extremely impactful to me. She saw my emotion and me crying, and she literally held my hand and she said, "Baby is safe in there. They have everything they need. You focus on yourself." And that stayed with me. And I was able to then just focus on okay, what does it look like? If baby has everything that they need there, like, what do I need out here? And I went from there. I think that was honestly one of the sentences that is probably the reason I went on with the pregnancy.
So many of the women we see just need permission to slow down. They need permission to say, what do I need? What do I need? What do I want? What am I capable of doing? As the relationship grew with Julia, I could just see the weight being lifted. I could see her feeling empowered that she could go forward and do this, which was such a transformation from the first time she walked through the door.
Noah James was born on August 8th, 2022. He was born 8 pounds, 9 ounces. And yeah, he's a really great baby. After I chose the name Noah, I realized that his name meant rest. And I thought that was very fitting because when this unplanned pregnancy happened, it was at a point in my life where I was going. I literally looked at Noah and had a feeling of rest and peace. And he reminds me to be present more and more each day.
After she had the baby, she called us up and said, "Hey, I want to come in. I'd like to give back. I'd love to come give you hugs. I'd love to come say thank you." And that was such a gift to us.
I genuinely am so grateful that I ended up at RealOptions. I literally walked into RealOptions with no expectations, and I was completely surprised that they were providing me with emotional support that I did not even ask for. That I could not imagine my life without Noah James, and I'm so happy to be his mom.